The time is 8:26 p.m. Good evening. The news headline: Dialogue with succession agitators. Dr. Uyi tells Buhari. President General Global Peace Movement International UK Dr. Mike Uyi has called on the federal government to dialogue with agitators across the country rather than employ the use of force. In a statement on Friday by media officer Augustine Aminu KSM on behalf of the President General Dr. Mike Uyi, who lost his sister over the weekend, Pastor Rose Uyi, condemned deployment of military to some parts of the country in an attempt to quell agitations for secession, noting that it will not yield the desired results since it is part of democracy for a people to speak out concerning how they have governed. Uyi said the 22 years of unbroken democracy being enjoyed by Nigerians is worthy of celebration. However, and there are many things yet to be done after so long, adding that this had led to the tension in the country. Uyi explained that the right to protest should not be taken away from Nigerians as long as such right is not taken for granted. And the analysis is quite simple. This is the Dr. Uyi, Mike Uyi, who is actually the President General of Global Peace, saying that the president needs to stop using, force and military force against the agitators, both Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu, that there is no crime in seeking for separate nations within an existing nation, where he said that mentioned some countries where the citizens have called for disintegrations, and saying that those representing the people through ideology of social contracts must listen to the people. He said, urging the government to engage the groups and calling on the National Assembly members to go beyond weeping on the floor of House and truly amend the Constitution. He said that the federal government should address purposefully the issues of agitations and insecurities in the country. The government should not bully and suppress justified agitations by humbly listening to them and dialogue where it is necessary, believing that President Muhammadu Buhari can solve these problems of secession, agitators, insecurity in 60 days. It is good for us to have a big united Nigeria than a divided Nigeria, and that the injustice should be addressed and everything will be well. Again, Uyi said, and this is like the Oni of Ife too has called on the federal government to dialogue with Sunday Adeyemo Igboho and also Nnamdi Kanu, that violence will not yield a better result as per this is democracy and everybody has freedom to express their mind, and even calling for self-determination is not a crime. There is no such thing as a cave chaos. When the Yoruba were in power, the reason why people are no longer interested in the Nigerian society is because of the insecurity in this country. There are thieves and other problems in the country that may be solved at any time. What President Buhari must do is not blame the protesters. What needs to be done is to sit them down and make them understand why such a thing is happening. I believe that Nigeria will get better, but for now, the important thing is to solve the problem by talking to the people involved. Oni of Ife breaks silence talking about insecurity in Nigeria. And the news analysis is quite simple. We would remember that some time ago, the Sultan of Sokoto was quoted saying that security agencies were not proactive. He said that the Sultan of Sokoto called on the federal government to identify and deal decisively without inciting individuals and groups against peace and security of the country. Almost same with what the Oni of Ife is saying as well. Because the Sultan of Sokoto said that the security of lives and properties are actually under threat, and individuals who are doing this should be called to be brought, like the terrorists who are actually doing this should be called to attention and arrested by the security agencies. He said the level of insecurity in the land has become a worrisome situation that the security agencies were unable to even demystify the so-called unknown gunmen who raid communities and institutions and kills unarmed citizens, abducting a scores of people unchallenged. He said that how can people who do these things be unknown where are our intelligence agencies and what are they doing? He said that all those committing such atrocities must be identified and the security agencies must be up to their games, find them and take action on this carnage. Sultan of Sokoto called on President Buhari to convene and chair a national dialogue on challenges facing the country with a view to designing lasting ways to solve them. He said, what is so difficult in presidency leading a national dialogue? Why are we afraid of talking to one another in a dialogue? What dialogue cannot solve? Violence cannot solve it either. So I think it's high time we put aside ethnic and religious sentiments and told ourselves the truth that what is happening in this country is not right. This is the way we should go if we really want to have a country. The president should lead the way in this. And you know, this is where it aligns with what the Ooni of Ife was actually saying too. The Ooni of Ife says that killing opponents of Buhari's regime, it is not the right way to go. That there should be a non-violent way of going about this. That President Buhari should escort these protesters to a round table, just like Sultan of Sokoto has said there should be a national dialogue. That he should invite these people to come to Aso Rock, or he should invite them to a public venue for discussion. He said that the use of violence or guns would not end the separatist crisis unless political leaders respected the rioters by plotting. And that is where it connotes with what the Sultan of Sokoto too said, that what dialogue cannot solve, even violence cannot solve it either. Ooni of Ife on a Saturday said that Buhari has to come down to the ranks of the people, resolving disputes and conflicts through the use of firearms and other weapons would only result to loss of lives and would also lead to a war in the nearest future if care is not taken. And he says that to save the lives of innocent people and the good people of the country, he asked President Muhammadu Buhari to negotiate with Sunday Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, who is actually at the Benin prison in Benin Republic, and of which the president and the federal government as a whole are looking for a way to extradite him to Nigeria so as to further arrest him and try him. And also that he should negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu, who is also at the DSS facility waiting for trial. So if Buhari really wants to end the self-determination, call for self-determination and division in the country, he has to call these two agitators to a round table and discuss with them on why they feel isolated and what can be done. Adewusi Ogunwusi, Ooni of Ife, says that while some people remain in power corridors for years, that many of the masses, they have lost hope and they have felt exploited by those in power. While this is not the best way for those who want to resign, he urged President Buhari to solve the problem of the people in other parts of the country and also put them in government rather than killing them. Adewusi Ogunwusi, the Ooni of Ife, says that when people say they no longer want to be part of Nigeria, there is no such thing as a cave. He said, even when Yoruba was in power, and the reason why people are no longer interested in Nigerian society is because of the insecurity in this country. There are thieves, and many people are making Nigeria so difficult to live in. And he believes that Nigeria will be better, but for now, important things should be solved by talking to the people involved. Ooni of Ife breaks silence. Therefore, the federal government needs to pay attention to Dr. Mike Uyi and also the Ooni of Ife. Thanks for listening. Good evening.